Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and we're going to be doing this French set, so keep on watching if you want to know how I achieved it. First thing first, I'm going to be using this sanding band. As you can see, my sanding band is a lot different. This is like the mini sanding band. I brought this off Shein, and it was really cheap, and I think it was like $2 for like 50 pieces or something like that. But I wanted to give it a try because I've been seeing other nail techs using it, and I love it. I love it way more than I love the actual big fat ones. These are so easy to work with, and it's so easy to get around that cuticle area. You can get really close without hurting your client. Of course, I'm not going this fast, but I had to speed up the video so that way it's not super long. But like I was saying, you guys, I'm very much so able to get around the cuticle area, and it's not causing my client no harm. As you can see, all that dead skin is coming up. It looks very nice, and I'm able to go around the entire nail. So now I'm going to go ahead and place my nail tips. Of course, you want to make sure you're sizing your client nails from sidewall to sidewall. If the tips is too small, go with the bigger tip and just file down the sides. You whether it be too big than too small. But the nail tips I'm using are from Amazon. They're on my Amazon storefront, so you can go ahead and check this out. They're just straight tapered square nail tips, and it's really easy to get like a nice square, or you know, if you want to coffin, however you want your nail tips. I prefer to buy my nail tips already pre-shaped, so that way I don't have to do too much work. I feel like it saves a lot of time, especially if you are a beginner. It's going to take you a lot more time to do nails being a beginner, but once you get pre-shaped nail tips, it's going to, you know, kind of help you. So the color I'm going to be using today is Valentino Perfect Nude, and I really love this acrylic. I love every color Valentino have. All their cover colors are A1. Perfect to use. But there is a little bit on the expensive side, so I would say if you are a beginner, I do not recommend you start off with practicing with Valentino. You can start off with, you know, one of the cheaper acrylics, so that way you're not wasting the good product. So when you do have your clientele, you can use your money on supplies on more expensive acrylic. So basically, when I was a beginner, I started rewarding my clients when my clientele got bigger. So when I came from having like 5 to 6 clients consistently, then I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just, spoil them with better acrylic. And so from there, I started getting Valentino, not polished, and young nails. But I really stuck with Mia's Secret at the beginning because I felt like I wanted to waste I can't even say that Mia's Secret is not bad. It's like a only beginner product because I still use it still to this day. It's a good acrylic powder, but I feel like Valentino and not polished is way better, so you can still practice with it. It's a good investment. But if you want faster drying acrylic and stuff like that, go ahead and move over to Valentino. So I kind of want to explain a little bit on how I do my applications. If you haven't watched any one of my previous videos, I do recommend that you go ahead and do that. But when I do my application, I start off with like a pretty big bead, and I go ahead and place it where the natural nail and the nail tip meets. And as you can see, the acrylic is not going anywhere. I'm literally going to go ahead and push my client finger down and mold that acrylic into the shape that I want it to be, which is square. So any of the extra excess acrylic that's going to be coming down, I'm going to make sure I remove it. And I make sure I like when it falls, I make sure it's not underneath the client nail, because then you're going to have to drill it off. So I do it before it dries. Then I go in with my second bead, and I place it where, like right above where I placed that first bead. You can go ahead and push it into the cuticle area if it's big enough, or you can go ahead and just, you know, pat it down and then go in with a third bead. So it's really all up to you. Picking up the amount of beads is all what makes you comfortable. Sometimes you're gonna have to pick up 4 or 5 beads, and it's all until you know the nail is a perfect nail. Me, I like for my acrylic to look perfect, so I go in with multiple beads until I see it's all, you know, even and everything looks good. So I can't really tell you that I always do the same exact thing every single time. It all depends on the client, how their cuticle area looks, how wide their nail tip is, how wide their nail bits is, or how long the nails is going to be. So you have to see what works for you when you're picking up your beads, but you also have to know when you need to pick up more beads, when you need to pick up a bigger bead or a smaller bead. So you really have to know how to do the powder ratio. You really have to practice that, because when it comes down to picking up the acrylic process, you want to know how much beads you're going to need. I can't even say how much beads, because like I keep telling you guys, it doesn't matter how much beads you pick up. You just really want to know if the nail has a great apex, if it's smooth enough, it's no lumps, the cuticle area looks nice and flush. These are the things you want to look out for when you're doing your acrylic process. And also, you guys, if you're still in a stage where your nails have lumps and bumps and stuff like that, looking all crazy when it comes down to the acrylic application, focus on that before you start moving on to the next step, because I feel like when I was a beginner, I was so focused on trying to hurry up and get done and do the designs and stuff like that, but my nails was not structured. Like, it didn't have any structure, it didn't have a good apex, it was looking crazy. If I show you guys my back then nails, you're gonna be like, ain't no way, that thing looked crazy. And I was just trying to figure out how the hell people used to come to me. Like, that's probably why some people never came back, but that's a conversation for another day. But anyways, I just want you guys to really focus on your application before you focus on moving to the next step, which is designs and stuff like that. Yes, you can go ahead and drill and use your drill to fix, you know, some of your mistakes. But if the application is not good, you're going to end up drilling off too much of the product, and your client nails is going to be breaking. It's just going to be all over the place. You just want to make sure you have structure with your nails first. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my fine bit just to clean around the cuticle areas, you know, make sure it's nice and sealed. I want to make you guys understand, when it comes down to drilling, you do not want to drill off too much of the product. So it's just to really smooth out everything. That's why I like using a fine bit. And then I, you know, clean up the shape, make sure it's no acrylic underneath the nail. And I don't take off too much of my apex area, because then all that hard work that you just did to build the apex, you're going to end up taking it all off. And your client nails is still going to break and it's still going to lift. You just got to make sure you're not doing too much. Me personally, I love a good fine bit. Some people like me, like, you know, stronger bits, but me, I think a fine bit is perfect. Then I also feel like I could use a fine bit because my application is flawless. Like, I feel like it's not too much. Like, I could just use the fine bit just to smooth out the nails. I have gotten to the point where I do not need to take off too much of the acrylic. So I can just use the fine bit, you know, to shape up the edges, you know, debulk the nails, but not too much. So once you get to that point, then you don't necessarily need to have to, and that's the key. When it comes out to mastering nails, you do not want to take a long time. So if you could skip the whole drilling part, then that's going to save you a lot of time. So why not make sure your application is flawless, so that way when it comes down to drilling, you're just going to really be using the drill just to shape up the nail and just seal the cuticle area, you know, just to make it look nice and flawless. So you just got to think about that. Work on your application so that way your ending product is going to be nice and flawless. This is how it looked after I shaped and filed. Perfect. Nice. Really nice shape. Everything looked good. But once I was done with that, I cleaned off the nails and then I go ahead and start drawing on my French. I'm using Valentino white gel polish. I started using the white gel polish from Valentino because I kind of felt like the D&D gel polish, I'm not saying I'm not gonna use it no more, because I'm still gonna use it. I just felt like the D&D gel polish was leaving like bubbles in the nail. So I decided to give the Valentino gel polish a try. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. But Valentino gel polish is a little bit on the expensive side. I love it's like $18 for a bottle. My goal is to get their entire collection. Their gel polish is A1. Their acrylic is A1. Their monomer is A1. The gel polish is A1. Everything is really good when it comes down to the Valentino. And they're not sponsoring me at all to say this. This video is not sponsored by Valentino. But hopefully one day I can sponsor a video by Valentino, you guys. We'll see later on in the future. Let's speak it into existence. Remember I told you guys I'm going to be manifesting things? I'm going to manifest that I'm going to be working with Valentino one day. So yes, like I told you guys, I had to stop using the D&D gel polish for a little minute because I felt like it was causing little bubbles in the nail. And I think it's because I don't know if it's because like the gel polish, I probably left it out open too long or something probably got in it. I don't know, but I just said, you know what? I noticed that it was doing that, so I said, you know, I'm just going to give Valentino a try, and I love it. This is amazing. The gel polish is good. I love it. I'm not even going to cap. It's expensive. I'm going to have to bring it out for the good clients. So when you sit in my chair and you see that I'm bringing out that Valentino product, that means you're a good client. I'm just playing. So once I'm done with the outline of the French, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with the gel polish. What I like to do is when I'm done with filling it in, I will go over the French again just to make sure it's perfect. And my client also wanted me to go a little bit more higher with the smile line, so I just had to go back and do that. But once I was done, I just added a cherry design. The only reason why I added the cherry design is because my client was just trying to find a different charm or something, you know, just to bring out the nails, and we decided to do the cherry. I did that off camera, but I actually love how this French came out. The only reason why I'm posting it is because I really love how this French came out. It came out really nice, because if you've been watching me, you know that I am tired of posting French nails. And the cherry, I feel like, just brought it out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye.